Here we have the small town of Monticello. I lived in this town for many years. I'm currently along one of the county roads. Funny about this is technically the US has like bicycle routes that are like places that bikers or cyclists can take to go from big place to big place, and if you wanted to bike from the Twin Cities to St. Cloud, or yeah, that's like a thing. But anywho, Monticello, we're on like the outskirts of it right now. If you keep heading a little that way, you will see the sign that I just showed you earlier and start heading into Otsego territory and then going towards the Twin Cities. But going on that way, you go deeper into Monticello, which we will be going to today. Minnesota is like the state of 10,000 lakes, and almost any town or city you go to in Minnesota is bound to have at least one. Monticello ain't no different. There are a couple lakes around Monticello, but there are none in Monticello. Monticello is actually a river town, as it's along the mighty Mississippi, and I'm right over here on like this little wayside. This ain't even an official like place to park or anything, but this is like the first guaranteed nice view of the river you get while entering Monticello. It's just a spot where there's like no trees blocking either way, and you just get a nice epic view of it. I want to showcase 4 parks, I think, that highlight Monticello's river town beauty, I guess. Here's a bonus one, I guess, for you. So I've made it to our first park. This one is super hard to get to because this is like tucked away between a couple houses. But today's park is one Swan Park. This is the only park in Monticello that I feel like I have not been to. Let's see if we can see some swans. I actually just saw some swans flying out of here, so hopefully there's some chilling in here. I feel like I now got a crackdown as to why this place is like a little hard to find. It's because it's so small. It's literally like this bench, a trash can, and like this picnic table. It's called a park, but it's more apt to be called like a lookout. Like Swan Lookout, I feel like would be such a better name for this place. I guess those swans I saw leaving were like the last clan, because I'm not seeing any swans at Swan Park. But you know, it is what it is. Still a pretty view. If you love bird watching and nothing more, this is nothing short of a hidden gem. I don't know, there's a parking lot. The parking's free. If you get the first dibs here, like I actually did, I'm surprised no one's actually here, then it's kind of nice. On to our next park. This one's also kind of tucked away. Now, unlike Swan Park, the last one, this one's actually quite big. And I say big like lowercase big. It's still quite a small park. Here we have park number 2. Ellison Park. Ellison Park is home of the Riverfest, which is like a Stardew Valley-ass like celebration that the Monticello people do. With what I was saying about the whole Monticello being a river town, Riverfest is like their way to celebrate it. It happens near the summer, I think, and allegedly happens here. They have like a whole little playground you can play to your heart's content. They have some like picnic tables over there in 2 different buildings, one of which is like a log cabin type genre, and they have this this big goofy epic like fish statue that you can just look at it and enjoy in awe. Also, they have a boat ramp, which is kind of wet right now. Compared to Swan Park, this place kind of is a lot more bigger and seemingly has more stuff to do. Now, probably thus far, this is probably the craziest like Mississippi viewing angle you could probably get. Yeah, you can go up and touch the Mississippi if you wanted to. Yippee! So that's pretty cool. You have a couple people like going out and fishing on this river, but it's always cool to see like the snow and chunks of ice just gently float across the river, as well as the little duckies and stuff. and see one of the most important Monticello things of all time, which is the little Mississippi Bridge, which is one of the few bridges in the county that cross the Mississippi. This one takes you mainly to over in Big Lake over there on that side of the river. As I said, I wanted to highlight 4. That's 2. Also, that bridge I showed you earlier kind of splits up our list between, you know, one side of the river and the other side, with the bridge being in the middle. Swan and Ellison Park are this side. The other 2 fall on the other side. Kinda. Reason I say kinda is because this next one is technically 2. Here's the little sign right over there. Bridge Park. So you know that bridge I showed you that separates Monticello in kind of half? East and West River. Like, this is the bridge that splits it, and the bridge has a park, and the park is on both sides, and there's Bridge Park East and Bridge Park West. I'm gonna just call it Bridge Park. Here is that bridge. Now this is like the bridge of all time. At least in terms of Monticello, there's a lot of traction, motion, a lot of stuff happens here. The road that goes through this bridge takes you from Big Lake to Buffalo. You know, this bridge is important to a lot of people. And here's a view of the river. But this park, at least in the winter time, you can maybe see it, but there's a lot of families like sledding. That's like the coolest part. So this is I think east side, and the east side of the bridge only has like a couple of benches, this gazebo, and that hill. It also has like there's like a steep going up to the hill. But yeah, hill, sledding, people enjoying that activity. Here's the river. I'm on the east side of the park. Here is the intersection of the 2 sides of the park where you get to go under the bridge. It's a little dark. There are some lights that kind of vaguely light up this little area, but personally the dark and damp and spooky vibe this place has is kind of cool. That sign does remind me though that across the river you just go to the other county, because Monticello is like on the tippity top of Wright County, and across that river is Sherburne County, which has places such as Elk River, and that's kind of it, and I guess Big Lake, and technically St. Cloud, but only by like just a wee bit. So that's a little fun fact for you. Here on the west side of the park is probably where the bigger half of the 2 are. This side of the park has actually been getting construction. Insert this time frame here, it's been going on. Now, unlike the other 2 parks I just showed you, this one I actually have been to a couple times. And one of my favorite things in this little park is this little contraption right here. It's like a little art project, bunch of signs going a bunch of different directions. From the perspective of like the Mississippi River, you know, if you go to the right, you got the Gulf of Mexico, New Orleans, St. Louis, Lake Itasca and Bemidji, and then you have like St. Paul. Just really, really cool stuff. Yeah, going a little past over here, you got like this thing right over here, which is like some type of drainage thing. I don't know if this constitutes as a waterfall. I guess when I was in Virginia, I was being kind of a dickhead and I was saying like, oh, look at this waterfall. Here's this waterfall, Monticello's one and only waterfall. How mighty. Which obviously leads into our river in question. But yeah, let me get a little better view of that river. At this park too, you can also get close enough to the river to just like blatantly just skip around and touch it, I guess. Technically, you know, you get 2 views of the river at this park because it's east and west side, even though they're, I don't know, in my head I molded these 2 places as the same park, but they technically aren't. East over there, west over here. Both Bridge Park, both Monticello, and I think this is definitely a worthwhile place. This is the park that's like closest to the downtown area of Monticello. Yeah, shout out the Bridge Park. So we have a lot of the cute lights turning on right now, which kind of means the sun has been setting. I mean, as you can kind of see just watching the video, it's been getting a little darker. So by the time we get to our last park, it might be dark. Okay, so it's getting dark, but I finally made it to the Wright County park. This park does have a name, and it's not just Wright County Park. Monticello has to be probably one of the shitpost funniest names, like Monticello, Mississippi, Monticello. Like, I think it's cute. Yeah, there's these big metal oingoloids. I don't really know what these called. There's like a power plant that's like right next to the park, so you get the woods, the river, and then like this. It's kind of cool, I guess. That contrast is kind of crazy on how like one side is the power plant and the other side is just this like epic forest. But this is the park I probably have the most time ever spent here, and that's very sentimental, very nostalgic for me, this place. So shout out Monticello. I want to make something like painfully clear about this epic and grand park. This place is way too big, and I don't have enough time in the day or in the battery to like really give it justice. So we're gonna go meander to the river and check that out. But this place deserves its own video and explanation and exploration. But I love this place. This is probably one of the coolest spots in Monticello, and big thumbs up for me. Here is a basic summarization of like the park, kinda. So here we have its name. Here we have a map of the park of all the crazy and wacky stuff you can do here. There's bathrooms, there's lots of different little parking spots. The river is just over there. Also, here's some more lore on the whole like Mississippi River State Water Trail, I guess it's called. Big epic fancy name. But you know, here's a map. That's not the Twin Cities, but these are like some suburbs right out the Twin Cities, but apparently you can, you know, kind of go up it, and you know, we are here in Monticello, which in the grand scheme of things is quite like a small part of this piece, you know. But you can go all the way up, and well, there's St. Cloud, but this keeps going up more and more north. Like I said, this place is way too big, so we'll just have to, you know, enjoy what we can. Let's go take a look at that river. You know, with this park and almost any park actually that I've been to today. Oh my gosh, wait, forget that. Those swans. Hold. Yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, there's another one of the places you can go and touch the river. Right here, it's frozen. It's actually kind of interesting how the edges of the river can get frozen. So I could test my luck and just step over there, but I don't want to do that. See, here's a nice little calmer area that I can just touch the river. By the way, like, I've been biking around for like ever, and I've been seeing swans fly in the air while I'm biking, and I'm like, oh, my camera, oh, the swans are getting away, and by the time I get out, the swans are gone. So I'm actually really glad I could get like one like proper shot of the swans right there. Get the epic view of the Mississippi right over here. You could jump right in if you're feeling sassy, but again, I wouldn't do that because no. I don't know, I was feeling a little fun today, and I thought I would share what little I could about Monticello, which is all things considered kind of like a where kind of town. Shout out this small little town, which in the state of lakes, it's a more quaint, quieter river town, and it's all kind of based around this river right over here. And I hope you liked all the views I gave you of this river. Yeah, no, hopefully we can explore some more wackier stuff.